Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reviewing episode 3 of season 2 of The Mandalorian. This one's titled The Heiress, and as always, these videos are spoiler. So if you have not watched the episode yet, go watch it first and then come back. So anyway, this episode, continuing from the end of the last episode, where he's in space, with after that being on that ice planet with the spiders. So they're traveling through space. Him and the frog lady and the child. And so anyway, the ship is really kind of battered after the experience, and so he comes land on this planet that he can find other Mandalorians. And of course, they have a rough landing. He nearly crash onto the pad because of the thrusters are not working correctly. He's not able to slow down until like the last second. And because of that, they stop and then they fall into the sea. It was pretty funny. So, and then this part here I really liked of this episode. They had an AT-AT doing salvage, salvage them out of the ocean. I thought that was kind of an interesting use of AT-AT there, or AT-AT, whatever you call it. So they get out there. He pays a guy to help repair his ship. So basically, and then the frog lady reunites with her husband there on this planet. So that's a happy ending for them, with their remaining babies that Baby Yoda hasn't eaten yet. So he's going, and then he basically finds this freighter, a guy who because he meets him in a bar and he tells him that, like, oh, I could take you to where the other Mandalorians are, and so he pays him. It's like, okay. So they're on the freighter, him and Baby Yoda, and so there's this cargo hold there in the middle of the ship, and it's got water in there, and he opens it up, and then it realizes, like, there's some creature down there, like some sea creature. And then when the Mandalorian's not looking, the guy takes Baby Yoda in his carry and throws it down in there for the creature to swallow. And of course the Mando's like, what the hell? And he jumps in to try to save Baby Yoda, but then they close the cage on him. So it was a complete ambush, and so they're gonna, like, trying to stab him with sticks while he's under there. So he's almost drowning in there trying to save Baby Yoda. And then while this, and it looks like he's done for. And then once it happens, some other Mandalorians come and save him. So they come in and take out all the bandits, and they rescue him, and they also rescue Baby Yoda out of from that creature and kill that creature. So he's very thankful. But then these Mandalorians, unlike the Mandalorians he knows, take their helmets off, and he's like, what the hell is going on here? Mandalorians aren't supposed to get their helmets off. And he's like, no, I'm a true Mandalorian. My name is Bo-Katan, the character from the Clone Wars. She was the sister of the original leader of Mandalore. If you watch Clone Wars, she was killed, and so she is now, Bo-Katan's now the rightful leader of Mandalore. But of course she's in exile because there was a civil war. So she's trying to, and so she explains to him that she's trying to regain Mandalore, the throne of Mandalore, and try to put the rightful ruler back in place. And so she tells him that, like, because I guess he doesn't know too much about Mandalorian mythology. He's been told some things like, oh, you can't go there, that place is poisonous, the Mandalore. And she tells him, no, that's not true. And the fact, too, that he always wears his helmet, he's never taken it off. It's like, well, that's not true either. She said, because you're a part of a fundamentalist cult called the Watch. And the Watch was part of the Clone Wars. They were the faction, like the radical faction that tried to take over Mandalore. They were the ones that fighting Bo-Katan's faction. So he doesn't realize this. Because this is all he's known since he's been raised, since he was orphaned. As they showed in season 1, and he was raised by these Mandalorians. Well, because he didn't realize that he's been raised by a fundamentalist faction of Mandalorians, and that their way is not the only way. So, anyways, like I said, I always prefer Mandalorians that can take their helmets off. Like, why would you want to keep your helmet on all the time? How do you drink, eat, maintain yourself, do anything? So, anyways, so he flies away from them because he rejects this, but then they come back to him again when the guy's brother comes after him that they killed. So then they decide to team up, and so she says, hey, deal. If you help me out in this mission, I'll tell you where to take the child. I'll tell you where the Jedi are that he's looking for to to help raise that child. And so he's like, okay. So it turns out there's this freighter full of weapons that they're going to hijack because she wants to use it to help take back Mandalore. And so they go on that mission. It's full of Imperial troops. They take them out. They take the weapons, but then so this was a ship that the captain of it is part of Moff Gideon's gang. So as far as fiction, the remaining remnants of the Empire. These are very higher loyalists, and so once they attack the ship, and then the Mandalorian helps them beat them, then he almost crashes the ship. They was gonna kamikaze the ship, so they wouldn't take over. But then they at the end there they they stop him. So but then of course and then Bo-Katan wants the captain to tell her where the dark saber is, which we saw at the end of season 1 that Moff Gideon has. So, but he refuses to help him, and he commits suicide. So, so the Woods goes there. So she tells him that, yeah. So he finally tells him like, oh hey, where? Okay, so but she says, "Do you want to come with us?" He's like, "No, just tell me where I can find a Jedi." She's like, "Okay." She tells him this forest planet, and where can she take the baby to? Is a planet you can find Ahsoka Tano. So finally, we're gonna get Ahsoka in this, and of course, everybody should know Ahsoka if you're a Star Wars fan from the Clone Wars. So that's going to be played by Rosario Dawson. So it'd be great to see her. And by the way, so Katie Sackhoff played Bo-Katan in this. She was really excellent. And also we saw Suster Banks, the wrestler. She played one of the other Mandalorians because we'd seen her in the trailer, and people wondered who she played. But so she's obviously Mandalorian. So I was saying, see, so now we're gonna get Ahsoka. So he's gonna take at the end of the season, so he's gonna take Baby Yoda to that planet to see Ahsoka. So I really enjoyed this episode. I mean, there was definitely much more story going on in this episode than the last episode. It didn't feel like a somewhat filler episode or a side story. This definitely was part of the main plot. A lot of story in the story. I was really happy to see Bo-Katan. If you're a fan of the Clone Wars, she was a really cool character in there, and so it was good to see her in there. The Katie Sackhoff, and it's glad to now that we're going to finally get Ahsoka in the series too. So I really enjoyed this episode. Can't wait to see what else happens. So I wonder too if this plants the seeds for if later on then if he befriends Bo-Katan and her faction more, then if he's going to kind of turn away from of what he knows of Mandalorians from the Watch. If he finds out that they don't know their way is wrong, or whatever. So I wonder if that eventually means he's going to, one day in the series he's going to take his helmet off for people and decide that he wants to be like the other Mandalorians. So we'll see. That's my theory there. But okay, so that's my review of episode 3. It was a really good episode in my opinion. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've watched already, leave a comment down in leave a comment. But of course, if you're not commenting about the show, I'm gonna delete your comment. Just let you know. So I'm not gonna take any trolling. So thanks again, everybody, for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.